We begin today's wrestling news and rumors video with some huge news regarding Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, and Brock Lesnar coming out of this past week's edition of Friday Night SmackDown, which saw an absolutely huge swerve or curveball occur during the show, with the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns officially firing Paul Heyman and betraying his special counsel once and for all, with Roman Reigns proceeding to unleash some frustration on Paul Heyman, which resulted in Brock Lesnar laying out not only Roman Reigns but the Usos as well. Now, by all means, this has been a storyline swerve that has been rumored to happen for quite some time now, with WWE planning for Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman to split up. But the question that fans have been wondering was firstly, when was this turn or betrayal going to happen, and who would be the one doing the betraying, Roman Reigns or Paul Heyman? In the end, it was the head of the table, Roman Reigns, who turned on Paul Heyman, and by all means this major storyline development adds so much excitement and intrigue to the upcoming Universal Championship match between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar at the Day 1 pay-per-view event, now that Reigns has fired Paul Heyman from his team, which has left most fans expecting for Paul Heyman to turn babyface and realign with his original client, Brock Lesnar, which according to one of our sources, is exactly what the WWE are planning to happen in the coming weeks. While lots of fans were anticipating the breakup of Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns for months now, there's no doubt that it is a bit sad or unfortunate now that it's happened, as Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns work so well together, and Heyman was definitely partly responsible for Roman Reigns going on to have arguably the best run of his entire WWE career following his return at SummerSlam last year. And the storyline between Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman on SmackDown was one of the most interesting and noteworthy highlight storylines in WWE over the past year, and now the alliance has come to an end, although things are definitely not finished by any means, and will likely only get more exciting as we get closer to Day 1. According to a breaking new behind-the-scenes rumor, Roman Reigns firing and betraying Paul Heyman may have been done for a shocking reason, and for Roman's fans out there, it may be a bit of a sad reason. Apparently, with Paul Heyman now officially being fired by Roman Reigns, this may very well lead to Brock Lesnar winning the Universal Championship from Roman Reigns at Day 1, with Paul Heyman quite possibly interfering in the match to help Brock Lesnar get that win over Roman Reigns, with Vince McMahon feeling that this would be a sensible way to get that title off of Roman Reigns without him losing cleanly, and that it would make sense for Paul Heyman to want to get some revenge against Roman Reigns for ending their alliance so abruptly and in a devastating way on SmackDown this past week. Hence why it's now more possible than ever before that Roman Reigns' Universal title reign could very well be coming to an end at Day 1, which would mean that Roman's not breaking Brock Lesnar's record for the longest Universal title reign in WWE history. We have been told that Vince McMahon and other backstage WWE officials have been beyond happy and impressed with Brock Lesnar's work on SmackDown as a babyface with his new character, and that Vince feels Brock Lesnar is more valuable and important to the WWE roster than ever before, as Lesnar is more popular among fans than previously with his new babyface character, and that Vince feels Brock Lesnar as a Universal Champion on SmackDown would be a fresh change and increase the ratings for Friday Night SmackDown beginning in the new year of 2022, and that while Roman Reigns has definitely been a great Universal Champion, something fresh or new needs to happen to get fans interested in the SmackDown brand once again, after Roman was becoming a bit predictable or boring by continuously retaining his title and destroying all challengers, and that babyface Brock Lesnar is exactly what the WWE need to spice things up a bit on SmackDown going into 2022. Now, like we've mentioned before in previous videos, it would be a bit unfortunate or sad if Roman Reigns loses the Universal Championship at Day 1, because whether or not some fans feel Roman is getting a bit boring or stale as SmackDown's flagship champion, he would be so close to breaking Brock Lesnar's Universal title record for the longest title reign if he were to retain the belt at Day 1. So some fans may feel that it would be a waste to take that title off of Roman Reigns when he's so close to reaching a huge milestone, and that since Roman's been the Universal Champion this long, WWE should hold off and not take that championship off of Roman Reigns just yet. Although again, with Roman Reigns betraying and firing Paul Heyman, a title change could very well be in the plans for Brock Lesnar, and please do let us know your thoughts and opinions on that down in the comment section below. We now have some very noteworthy news regarding former Divas champion Paige. As most of you are probably aware, there had been quite a few rumors going around earlier this fall that Paige is not actually finished with her wrestling career from an in-ring standpoint, and that she was preparing for a return to the ring in WWE. And while Paige made it clear that she was planning on coming back, much to the delight of fans, Paige made sure to mention that she was not going to be revealing her return date to WWE in an effort to make her comeback more of a surprise for fans, and rightfully so. However, a new backstage report has leaked that as of right now, Vince McMahon is strongly considering for Paige to finally make her long-awaited return to the women's division in WWE during the 2022 Women's Royal Rumble match, with Paige apparently being ready enough by the Royal Rumble for her return, and that this timeline basically works out perfectly, as it allows for Paige to make a shock surprise return entrant in the Women's Royal Rumble match, and it gets Paige right back into prominence going into WrestleMania season. Now, as far as whether or not Paige would be winning the 2022 Women's Royal Rumble match remains to be seen, although that is reportedly doubtful at this point. Speaking of the 2022 Women's Royal Rumble match, a current women's division star who had won the match in the past recently made her intentions clear that she wants to win the 2022 Royal Rumble match, with that said superstar being Bianca Belair. For those of you unaware, in a recent interview, the 2021 Women's Royal Rumble match winner Bianca Belair stated that she does want to win the Royal Rumble for 2022, because while she did win it last year, it was not in front of fans, and this coming Royal Rumble will be, which Bianca Belair feels would be a special moment that would top her big win last year, which unfortunately did not have an audience and live fans. However, current backstage reports indicate that superstars like Sasha Banks, Bayley, and even Toni Storm are currently being considered more strongly to win the 2022 Women's Royal Rumble match, so it's not likely that Bianca Belair will be winning the match next year, even though some may feel she deserves to. We now have some breaking news regarding the Fiend Bray Wyatt in AEW All Elite Wrestling. Now that the Fiend Bray Wyatt is a free agent after his non-compete clause with WWE expired, a lot of fans are anxiously waiting for Bray Wyatt's next move in wrestling, whether that be a return to WWE or joining another wrestling company like AEW or Impact Wrestling. While there have been plenty of different rumors regarding where the Fiend Bray Wyatt may end up, a new breaking backstage report has leaked that when Bray Wyatt does return to wrestling, AEW All Elite Wrestling is where Bray is likely going to. However, it was also revealed that the Fiend Bray Wyatt is reportedly not in a rush to make his comeback to wrestling and has enjoyed his time away from the ring working on his new upcoming horror movie, and that he's not ready to return just yet. Hence why Bray Wyatt has not yet made his debut in AEW, which has been rumored to happen for months now. One of our sources has mentioned that the Fiend Bray Wyatt will be joining AEW, but as far as when Bray makes his official AEW debut is still a bit unclear, although we have been told that the Fiend Bray Wyatt will likely join AEW by the spring of 2022, so not too far off, though not as soon as many fans would have likely hoped for.